G'day guys, welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Tape, a podcast where we chat to rad people doing rad things within the mountain bike industry. This one here is a bit of a special one. We're chatting with our good friend Sian A'hern. Sian is going to have a huge year in 2023. We sit down, talk about her entry into bikes, talk about signing with the YT mob and her plans for 2023. Before we move on too far, though, let's talk about some of our sponsors. We've got Trek. Trek offer some of the best bikes on the market right now, whether you're riding enduro, road, gravel, or just commuting. Buying a Trek bike just got a lot easier as they're now offering online purchasing, so you can just jump online and get your favorite bike delivered to your door. What's better than that? Once you've got that fresh bike, you're going to want to look good in the best kit available. And for me, that is Franked. Franked Hail out of WA. They're Australian designed, made from the best quality materials, super comfy and breathe super well. There's a reason I wear the pants when I'm shooting photos, video, riding my bike, pretty much doing anything. I love those pants. They're super stretchy, super durable. And hey, if you want an even better bargain, use Beyond the Tape 10 at checkout and get 10% off those bad boys. Keeping my gloves warm, Fist gloves. They offer their heated up kind of thicker gloves for the winter weather. As you can tell, I have forgot their name, but they are damn good. The little bit of Thinsulate on the top keeps all the wind and all the cold away from your hands, while the thinner kind of Kajura grip at the palm just keeps all your feeling through the bars. So you get the best of both worlds there. Make sure you use Beyond the Tape at checkout to get a bit of a discount. Shred Bike Care, a new sponsor for 2023. I finally got the opportunity to use their stuff the other day, and it is freaking amazing. The spray on Cerakote is next level when it comes to keeping the shine and protecting your paint from any damage. The bike wash gets everything off real quick. The degreaser is amazing. Like, honestly, it's pretty hard to describe the stuff because it's so damn good. So make sure if you want to keep your bike clean and shiny, hit up shred.com.au. Lead Out Sports are the providers of some of the best tools on the market. And man, I am a huge fan of wheel building, and the nipple shuffle box from Elevation Wheel Co. is absolutely amazing. Keeps all the nipples the right side down, sorts them out for you. You literally just get your little spoke, your little pick or whatever else, pick them up, put them in the wheel, cuts your wheel building time in half. Absolute huge fan of this. They've got a bunch of cool wheel building tools over on their site, so check out leadoutsports.com. Keen as to head down to Tassie for EWS Derby as part of one of the Tailored Trails tours down there. So they're offering tours to anyone. So basically, hit them up. You can get all your accommodation, all your riding, all your shuttles, everything taken care of by Tailored Trails. All you have to do is rock up at the airport. They'll get you to your destination, and all you have to do is ride your bike and get your heckle on. So what else could be better than that? Keen as to head down there at the beginning of April for the EWS Derby. While I'm down there, dirt surfers are going to be keeping the mud out of my eyes, which is huge. They're made from 100% recyclable material, and they're 100% recyclable. Custom designs, and if you want to get something rad designed for yourself, hit them up. Same goes for capped out caps as well. So if you want a custom logo on a cap, or you want a nice little award, hit those guys up and they'll sort you out. Anyway, that's enough of me ruining that intro. Make sure you hit up all those sponsors, let them know that you're supporting the podcast. Anyway, as per usual, grab beer, grab a water, grab a wine, grab whatever makes you happy, and enjoy the podcast. Right, Sian, welcome to the podcast again. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Stoked to be chatting again. It's been a hot minute.
Like we're doing this as a bit of a reintroduction to some and a new introduction to others. For those who don't know, what do you kind of do? And
I'm my name's Sian A'hern, and I'm from Canberra in Australia. I ride and race mountain bikes for a living, and just pretty much living my best life and showing the world what I get up to.
You're the hashtag blessed generation type thing.
Blessed.
How long have you been riding for?
I think this might be my 8th year racing. So yeah, from my first, I actually started racing really quickly from when I pretty much rode my mountain bike for the first time, which was December of 2014, and my first race was in February of 2015, and that was Nationals at Thredbo.
Yeah, right. It's gone full circle in your area.
Pretty much, yeah, crazy.
How did you kind of get into like riding? Obviously being Canberra is not much. Right?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot now, which is awesome. But when I first started, came from a background of racing motocross from a young age with my family and my brother. And then we stopped that due to financial reasons. And then my brother found mountain biking. And then after, I think, 2 years of him racing, I finally was convinced to have a go on mountain bike. And yeah, I literally loved it the moment I started riding. And yeah, kind of just started progressing my way through the sport. And here we are.
Yes. Sick. Were you like racing straight away then? Like what?
Yeah.
Why did you get into racing straight away?
Pretty much like my brother was just already racing nationals and he'd done it the right way, but club rounds, state rounds, and kind of went through it. But I just went straight to a national round first race. Like, and I'd only ridden a bike for 2 or 3 months before that. So it was like pretty quick straight into it. And yeah, I just like had some pretty good results straight away. And I definitely had a long way to go, but I had the speed, I guess, from racing motocross. I definitely had that straight away where I wasn't so scared going fast, but skill level wasn't there to match the speed. So I had a lot of injuries along the way, but I think, I wouldn't change it all now. Like it's all kind of happened and fallen into place.
So yeah, that first race, were you up on the podium? Or?
Yeah, I got second. I mean, yeah, there wasn't heaps of girls back in the day when I started. So
you're not meant to say that bit, right?
I'll be honest. No, it was good though. Like I think the sport's come a long way and I think it was really cool just to give it a crack. And then I definitely started to when I was like second year junior, started to just race up in elite as much as I could because there was a heap more girls in there and just see how I went against them. And then, yeah, it was really cool. Like I really was the aim just to try and podium all the races I went in. And yeah.
Where's the competitive side come from?
Gosh, I don't know. My dad was an Olympian back in the day, so I reckon that's running through my blood. Just that, just that urge to like race and go as fast as I can. And yeah, I think very competitive, both my brother and I, for sure.
Yeah, I saw that he's got the rings tattooed on him. I didn't realise that until today.
We convinced him like 20 years later. I was like, you have to get the rings on you. You don't race Olympics and then not get it on you. It's ridiculous.
What was he racing?
He was a race walker. So, okay. Yeah, he, not bikes, no background of bikes, but right. Yeah.
You're just getting that competitive nature from him.
I think so. And just, that drive and, the want to go well and be the best version of you, I guess. That's pretty cool.
How was your first race experience then? Was it pretty chill? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I definitely like any race, regardless motocross to mountain biking, I've always wanted to, any race you go into, you want to win. I think that's that's written in my blood. And that's definitely something that I, definitely always strive to do. But I think, I just enjoyed it. Like I definitely, was one of those people that just could I really loved Thredbo because it was just a fast track and just definitely something that suited my riding style. And I still love it to this day.
And so were you pretty set on getting to World Cups and stuff from there, or how?
Funny you say that. I think so. That was my first year junior. Was my first year racing mountain bikes in under 19s. Then second year junior, I qualified to go race some World Cups and race Worlds. So I went over the second year of me racing ever. And that was the year I won the Junior World Cup series.
Yeah, right.
And I think Cairns was actually my first World Cup, I think, that year. And I won that one, and my parents and I were like, all right, let's just get yourself over there. You only have another chance of being a junior this year, so why don't I just give it a go? And I'm so happy I went there and did that. I've learned a lot of lessons since then, and I think a lot of injuries because of not having the skill to kind of keep up with the speeds I was going. So I think having those injuries again wouldn't change them, and I've learned a lot about myself, and I definitely, something good has come from every bad thing. So I think it's pretty sick. It was definitely not the right way, I'd say, to go into the sport, but it's what I did, and that was right for me at the time. So
that's and just getting into it and then just going straight to that level is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. I think that's why it was so nice to actually have a bit of a break the last 3 years and now come back to racing this year. And I think having that 3 years at home was just I'd raced World Cups up until 2019 was my last World Cup. And I was snowshoe, and I'd had a really consecutive year, kind of a conservative year, I'd say, actually. And it was just don't crash, don't have any injuries, and just get through it. And I had some okay results, like definitely some top 10 results in that year, but I was never satisfied. I finished Worlds and I was just quite upset with myself, and I was just like, you know, we've put all this money into this and, you know, we've really tried to make it work, and I was just like, I can't continue doing this. And Snowshoe was my last race, and I was like, you know what, no expectation, just enjoy it. And I actually got 6th place in Elite Women that race. And I was like, oh, maybe I want to race. And I was like, no, back it up. You want to have a break. So I went home, and it was actually the same time as kind of that whole COVID situation fell in. So a lot of people just thought I stopped because of COVID, and it just worked out how it worked out. But, you know, I stayed home, started a coaching business, just kept working. And then I really just wanted to use those few years to just kind of figure out what I wanted to do and what I wanted to do in the sport, and just find myself quite literally, and just have some time to not race with no pressure and just enjoy riding bikes and kind of go back to basics, learn skills and be a better rider. And that's really what I strive to do in that few years. And I guess like the last year, I was going to have 2 years off and return back to racing. Yeah. And then I had a crash in July of 2021. And that made me have another 13 months off of bikes, properly racing. So that was, you know, not planned, but, you know, looking back, it's funny.
You think like wanting to leave in 2019 is kind of like a byproduct of going from hopping on a bike and then racing straight away?
Yeah.
Like you didn't have that?
I never had that like progression point where, you know, you start riding and you ride it. Like every kid that rides a bike, they're just riding it for fun. And it all just is a natural progression. For me, I just kind of got straight into it. There was never always that fun aspect because I always just went straight into racing, and then it was just racing. That was all I knew. And to go kind of like, I mean, I definitely didn't do it the normal way, but I think like for me to do it the way I did and then go back to that, I'm actually in a really good position now where I've kind of developed and I like know what I want. I'm really comfortable with myself, and I'm just like, ready to, race.
Seems like it's a pretty common theme within our sport, seeing like young juniors go from 15, 17s and just wanting to get sponsored and want to ride. Like you see it often. And
yeah, for sure. I think like it's not so important about sponsorships. I think you really just, if you're not having fun, there's no real point doing it. Like you want to have fun behind anything. Like we all ride a bike because we enjoy riding a bike. And I think sometimes so many people get caught up in sponsorship and, you know, and it's just got to happen naturally and authentically. And I think if you're pushing so hard for it, it's just, you know, it's not real. And I think for something to be real is just so special. And I think that's what I've tried to do from day one, like not chase sponsorships too much and just, you know, let it happen, and what's meant to be will be. So, yeah.
Was it hard kind of getting so good and then you're riding overseas and stuff? You weren't like fully supported by a bunch of people?
Definitely. Like being a privateer is never easy, and anyone who's been a privateer, especially racing overseas in Europe, they know what I'm talking about. Like it's just never like, it's just hard work. And I think you just have so much more stress behind you and anxiety behind everything. And I think like having to sort it all yourself is very different. And I think just having like just so much kind of stress of having to do everything, like you're cooking, you're fixing your bike and everything yourself, you're organizing it all. It's all foreign to you because I don't know Europe very well at that point when I first started. It's just uncomfortable. Like there's nothing about it that's comfortable. You're learning tracks, you're figuring things out, you're trying to learn things from people, but it's quite difficult, you know, you just try and meet as many people as you can, but it's not easy, definitely.
Were you traveling by yourself? Or?
With my mum or my daddy, one at a time, which was good. So I always had someone there with me, but again, they were learning just as much as me. So, you know, it was just, we were all just, you know, hard work always, but, you know, we got it done. So,
yeah, getting to Europe for that first time, like Europe sucks for Aussies sometimes. Like it's so hard.
It's a long travel. It's never easy. And I think like any of us Aussies, regardless on a factory team or not, like it's a long travel to get there. Not cheap, and it's just tricky, like just to get used to the whole jet lag situation and just so many little things involved in going from all the way from Australia to Europe and then racing your bike. It's
a whole different level.
Yeah, it's very tricky. Like, you know, a lot of the Europeans, they are so lucky to just be there, you know, like whether it's a flight or a long drive away, they're kind of very accessible to get to each country. But for us, it's the long haul.
What was like the biggest surprise or the biggest hurdle to overcome when you first got there?
Language barrier always.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think being an Aussie, just I'm not very cultured. I'm just like,
we speak Australian and English.
Australia, mate. I think that would be definitely one of the trickiest things. Just getting used to the whole culture over there, and just a lot of things like driving a car differently. Like there's just so many little hurdles, I guess, the whole way. Nothing's ever that smooth over there.
Was it kind of beneficial though, like going through that path though, like instead of just going straight to a factory?
Oh, definitely. I think I did 3 or 4 years completely privateer, and I wouldn't change it. I think it makes me appreciate what I have now, and I think, I think back to that, and I learned a lot, and there's all those things that are sometimes you think at the time they're the worst thing in the world, and but you look back and it's it's just what makes you who you are today. So.
Kind of helps you become a good racer too, I think.
For sure.
Always pressure.
Exactly.
What so why, like, did the burnout, or you're just kind of not having fun anymore? Is that what led you to stop?
Definitely. I think, I honestly, I finished 2019 World Champs. I got 9th place, and yes, okay, that's a great result, but I was so angry that it was one of those races. I was so conservative that I know I could have done a lot better. And it was just like, I just rolled down, got down safely and finished. Like I didn't have much drive behind me anymore. And I was just like, I just don't want to be injured. And I was just there was too much going on, I think, for me to actually perform. And I remember my brother won Worlds that year, Junior World Champs.
Yeah, okay.
And I was so happy for him. And it was such a great, kind of exciting time for our whole family. We were all there. It was great. And I know he was with his team, and I was sitting in our apartment with mum on my bed, just laying there. And I was in tears. I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
I was just like, I couldn't do it. And I was so angry because I was just so happy for my brother, but it was just so hard that we were both just not on the same page. And I think it was really tricky because he was on a team and I was doing it so much harder. And it was just hard to watch that in my perspective. And then he won Worlds, and it was epic for him. And then I was just on a whole different page, not having fun, not loving it. I was not in a great place with my racing. And I said to mum, I don't think I could do this. I think I need a break. And then we just decided, all right, we're going to Snowshoe anyway. That'll be your last race. We'll go home and just you do you. And so that was the plan. And then, as I said, Snowshoe, best career best result. It was just then I was like, Mom, let's go racing. And she's like, no. But so, it all kind of worked out all right. But definitely the burnout, I think, of just everything. I wasn't kind of screwed on with my head. I was just not settled or steady with my head and where I was mentally. And I think that was
and you got to be especially when you're hurtling yourself down Snowshoe at 60 an hour, your head's not there. It's bad time, right? Yeah, and I've learnt that along the way, especially after my injury last year, my brain injury. I've been working with a psychologist since 2021 when I had my head injury, and it's helped so much. I'm in so much a better place now, and really worked on so many things that I'm not good at, and really just put myself out of my comfort zone purely the last year or so. Just completely out of my comfort zone. And I've come a long way, so it's cool. What did you have a plan when you stopped? What were you gonna do when you just came back to Oz?
No plan at all. I just went back to full-time work. I was a personal trainer at the time, working with my parents. Went back to full-time work there and just rode for fun for a little bit, and just I thought just take it slow and just see what kind of falls into my lap and see what happens. Started kind of just having a break from bikes for a bit, and then honestly it was just this progression of me just having more fun with it. Going for rides with friends and starting to see what mountain biking was really about, and I think that was really cool. Then pretty much straight after that it was just okay, my mum mentioned to me that maybe I can start a coaching business, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a go, you never know. And then that just kind of bloomed. And then January or February of last year, I made the decision to leave my full-time job and just start coaching full-time and mountain biking full-time. And it all just literally just this natural kind of stepping stone to just where I am now, which is crazy.
How was the setting up your business and stuff? Was that stressful or pretty chill?
I think because I had the security of having a full-time job at the time when I was setting it up, I think that was okay. And I was just what have I got to lose, really? So, it wasn't too stressful. I just really just took my time with it, and I really tried not to push it too big, just so then I could handle it, I guess.
Yeah. Was it hard to kind of close it down after all that work? Or?
Definitely, yeah. So this year, I actually, the end of last year, I had to contact all my clients and say, I'm actually not doing this anymore. And they were all so supportive, and I can't thank any of them enough. Like, it was just so special to be able to have so much support from them after me kind of helping them for so long. And I think that's really special that I had that relationship with everyone. And yeah, they all understand, and I'll be back to coaching one day, but it's just for now, it's not the right time for me. And I think I'd rather be selfish at this point, look after my racing and my career. And then, when I'm in a good point to give everything to other people, I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah. I think that's something that people like struggle with, because athletes have to be so selfish with everything.
Definitely, yeah. I think you just have to put yourself first. And if you can't and you're just always giving to other people, it takes a lot out of you. And I found that a really tricky balance, and that's what led me to make the decision to put myself completely first and try and make this what I want to do, and just, really take, I guess, to achieve all my goals that I've set out. And then, I'll be in a much better position to do coaching full time in whatever direction I choose to take my business. And I think it'll be better off then, because I'll have already established kind of my brand, I guess.
So you mentioned a couple of times your injury. What was the crash? I can't remember the crash that led to it.
It was just a training crash at Stromlo. Just washed out on a turn, and I don't remember a lot of it, but someone actually saw it. I think a little kid found me, and I just washed my front wheel up the turn, and it just washed out, and then I was just smacked my head, and I was found like laying over a turn, unconscious. So it was really honestly like the hardest injury I guess I've ever had to deal with. Like, I'd punctured my lung, broke some ribs, and tore ligaments in my thumb, broke my wrist and my face. Like, I had this hematoma under my eye socket and my cheek, and it was just like the mentally like hardest injury I've ever had to face. And I've had a lot of a lot of other injuries, bones and stuff, which you can heal relatively. You get 12 weeks, you're good. But the brain injury was the trickiest, and it took a total of like 13 months for me to completely feel somewhat myself again and race properly. So.
Do you have any like data of how fast you're going or anything?
I have no data. I just wouldn't have a clue. And I honestly didn't want to look back to that day after it happened. Like, I had a lot of like problems with my head for quite some time, and then I came good after 3 or 4 months, and then it all just came back. And then I was diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome, and it was just really tricky because I'd never experienced all of this this before. It was all just very new to me, and I was lucky to have great people around me, my family and doctors and stuff, and everyone was really helpful. But crazy.
What were the like symptoms of the brain injury? And like as you said, like everything else heals easy.
Yeah, I guess everything else was fine. I think biggest thing was short-term memory loss. That took quite some time to come back from. A lot of problems with my speech. I could speak fine, but I just couldn't find words sometimes, so I'd just be paused and just lost at what I was saying next.
Yeah.
And sleep, which I still have a little bit of trouble with sometimes, just my sleep.
Are you sleeping too much or not enough?
Not enough, which is really tricky. At the start it was like too much, and then it was not enough, and then like it was all just everywhere, and now just on a regular it's just sometimes a tricky thing that I still have to face. But and then other than that, just some headaches and tightness in my neck and stuff. But it was just mainly just those things were the biggest problem of the brain.
Did you ever have like that stress or anxiety that you would never go back to normal?
Yes. Actually, funny again. So in June last year, I sat with the feeling of like, I don't think I want to race ever again. I was like, I'm done. Like, this injury, but it almost broke me completely. And all the other injuries, I was like, I come back stronger. This is good. And, work harder and learn. And this one, I was just like, it's dragging on. Like that was the like 11-month mark, I think, or 12-month mark. And I was like, I'm not myself, and I don't know if I'll ever be myself. And then I turned down my spot on the world's team last year, and I was like, I can't mentally.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a bit. I was upsetting for me, but I was like, you know what? I'm not in the position to put myself in that risky situation and the pressure situation. So I was just like, I'm going to be smart and look after myself. And then actually YT got in contact with me like a few weeks after that and said, you want to come to Whistler? We'll get you there. We'll go race Crankworks. I was like,
sick.
All right. I was like, Crankworks is cool. I can just put myself in a situation, but I can choose how I approach it, whether I want to just have fun with it, race it, and I can just adapt on the fly and figure out what I want to do when I'm there. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. Give racing this one more shot, let's see. And anyway, like, it was great to meet the whole of YT and just like see a bit more behind the scenes of the company. And like, I'd never met anyone, and I'd been riding for them for almost a year now. So this was like, it was pretty cool just to see everyone. And so ended up actually having my career best result there. And
of course.
I was like 0.6 behind Tracy on the Canadian Open downhill. And I was just like in a good place. Like everything just kind of worked. And I was like, all right, okay, maybe I shouldn't give up racing. And so literally just went home and I was like, all right, I'm going to race the rest of the Crankworks. Let's just see how this goes. And YT were amazing supporting this. And so I literally just went to Cairns, 0.1 off Tracy. And I was like, okay, this is good. And I was starting to kind of understand like behind, like in my own self of how I want to approach racing, and like really just like obviously working with my psychologist and some stuff, and just like I had my head in the right place for my own racing and just like how I wanted to look at it and how I wanted to kind of like work with my routine for racing and like the whole procedure of how I'd approach a week and everything like that. And I just started to figure it out. And then I went to Rotorua, same thing. Yeah. And then I won that race there, and I was like, okay, no way. Like this is, and then the I guess, then coming home and then, crazy.
It was definitely like visible though, because I mean, speaking from the outside, like 2019 and even 21, I think when you were racing nationals, you could tell like you were in your head so much.
Just too much. And I think I was just so focused on a result and so focused on like, just one single thing and not enjoying everything around it. And I was just so tunnel vision that honestly, if it didn't go to plan, it broke me. Like not winning nationals last year, I thought was the worst thing ever. I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. I'm done. Like, this is it. And then, I had one of my best years yet on a bike. And it didn't I didn't let it define me at the time. I did, yes, but I learned a lot from then. And honestly, I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't win nationals. I mean, if I was to win nationals, I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm thankful to not have won that race. And I'm really thankful that I learned so much in those times when I wasn't happy about things and just kind of used it to my advantage, I guess.
I think you speak on it. Like I'm working with the junior at the moment and help him out a little bit. And he's so focused on the result, all the time.
And it's great to have drive and, and something that you really want. But I realized that there's more to mountain biking than just your single result, and like your story and who you are as a person is so important. And I literally strive to just be a good person, have fun doing what I'm doing, and obviously have great results. But that's something that if everything else is good, that will come. And I think
it all follows on.
Exactly. Yeah. And, the result does not define you at all. And it's very important to know that. So,
well, I bet no one can tell me straight off the bat who won the O'Gang Life.
No, but if you're a great person, good personality, and you're, great, like just fun to be around and you enjoy what you do, that shows. So,
100%. So you raced those Crankworks, you had really good results. Everything was going well. Then you got approached by YT to go over there. You were riding for them in Australia, right?
With them in with Pushies and and those guys overseas, which was it was a good little kind of thing we had going on between both Australia and internationally. Yeah. And then to get like the offer to go join the mob for this current year was dream come true. I just remember the video call we had, and I was just there blushing like, no way. And I could not believe it. I literally I've been wanting this since I started racing. And, after seeing my brother be on teams and like always just there, and I was just like, I've chased it for years and like for it to come true, and it honestly couldn't have fallen at the right time. Like I'm thankful to have been through everything I've been through to be at this point now, a lot more switched on, and I've got everything in the right place that I know I can have a good year if I work hard and put my head to it.
How did the opportunity come about though? Was it just because you were part of the Australian team?
We'd always discussed it, but it was just, I think YT was so, I'm so thankful that they kind of let me really just run my own program for the year. And I honestly just wanted to find myself, what I wanted to do. And they gave me that flexibility. There was no pressure. And I think I really just enjoyed, representing their brand, which I love their brand. And I just, just kind of, they let me do my own thing, which I really appreciated. And, there was talk about it, but we were like, I just kind of didn't want to get my hopes up. I was like, let's just see what happens. And and then, I said to them, I sent an email and I said, let's chat. I really want to let you know what I want to do for next year and see if you guys are on board with it.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to commit to World Cups if you guys are happy with that. And it all just fell into place. So I was so thankful that they could make it happen. And yeah, like I honestly like couldn't speak highly enough of the whole brand. Like I've met so many people now involved in the brand and they're amazing. And even like Marcus, the founder of YT, like he's just such a great human and like just a real human, you know, like just loves like real stories. And, you know, it's all about like the whole journey and process of everything. And about progression and like who you are as a person and all of our values, I guess, align. And I think that's so special. So, and not something that's very common.
No, it's definitely not. I think we've seen a few team changes this year based on that. Well, what is it about like the YT imagery that like, because the branding is quite unique.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's a little bit different to what your personality is like, but what attracted you to like the whole branding?
I think just like generally the good times, like literally good times. And that's really like where they're so kind of like built around. And that's, I think for me personally, what helps me have great results is having good times and like a good balance between good times and business. Like, you know, and I'm really like, I just love the whole, just everything. Like there's nothing that I don't love about the brand. The bikes are sick, like the brand's sick. And just to be kind of like involved in this directly now is so exciting. And to be joining the mob is just dream come true.
Would shutting down Heathrow Airport with the YT mob, would that be considered a good time?
Yeah, we're in Manchester Airport and Johnny, our coach, just like we hit the barriers on the way through and the guy goes, then we get to the concrete barrier and we just crunch and we're like, oh. And this guy comes up to us, did you hit the barriers on the way through? We're like, nah. And we just got stuck. We had to let the air out of the tyres and then we had just traffic banked up and we were causing havoc in the airport at 7:30 in the morning. That's the mob for you.
Oh, God. What has been like the best bit about that training camp? Like everyone seems to get on so well.
Yeah, it's like a really good dynamic, I think, between staff, mechanics and riders. They've really handpicked everyone to suit the brand and suit the vibe. And I think we all work really well together. And like Oisin and I will be doing downhill and then, you know, Casper, Texie and Jack will be taking on the Enduro World Series. So I think it'll be really cool to just all get to work together for the year and we all just have our spot in the team and we just work well. I think it's like already a pretty well-oiled machine and, you know, like even our team manager's amazing and he's just, everyone's there for the right reasons and, you know, they're there for us to make us as happy as possible and everything else will fall into place. So I think it's really cool being able to give feedback and really just work with them to make the team the best kind of family we can and we can all work well together.
And what's the support from like the mob looks kind of unique because I don't know what the downhill situation is, but the enduro guys are all on different paths. They're just the same
definitely.
frame.
I think like the flexibility, the enduro team definitely has more flexibility than us, but within reason, like I mean, Oisin and I have so much flexibility. Like if we want to run something, we just have to speak up and they can make it happen, you know, like we have definitely a lot of flexibility. So I'm really happy and pumped to be able to be given this opportunity to be able to work with what's going to work best for me as a rider. We're all different on a bike and I think that's so special. Like, you know, it's so frustrating having to run something you don't love. And if you don't believe in it, like how are you supposed to believe in your bike when you're just, you know, risking your life down a hill? So I think, for all of us, it's very unique and very special. So cool.
I think it's pretty interesting to do as well. I spoke about this with Mick and Lockie the other day on Tech Talk, but if they're all running different parts, it doesn't matter for YT because they're just the frame. So if they get a win on any part, it means
a win for them. Exactly. And like, again, like us riders are happy and that's seriously, if we're not happy, we're not going to get good results. So I think it's, very important that they've really kind of worked on more performance rather than sponsorship. And again, that goes back to what I said earlier. So
it's good times.
And I think like we've got Johnny from Fit for Racing's our coach and performance coach, which is great just having that kind of relationship with him to make us not just better in the gym and on the bike and everything, but also just mentally just be there for us if we want to speak up and it's just a safe place. So.
What's it like being a coach that's getting coached by another coach?
I love it. Like I'm always learning. I've always got stuff to learn and it's been really cool so far. I've really enjoyed his training and I'm loving it. And I'm very thankful to have this opportunity to work with someone myself. And it's really tricky coming up with your own training. You get a bit stale. Like it's great coming up with other people's stuff, but when it's for yourself, you're just like,
just do the fun stuff.
Yeah, or you just don't plan it properly or you're not accountable to anyone. So you're just like, I'm just going to have another rest day. You know, it's very easy to have that mentality behind you. But working with Johnny's been good, like just having someone that I trust and just backing whatever he's putting down for me and just doing it. And it's been good so far.
And you got a nickname Shani at the camp.
We're doing some chest press holds, and I think I did the heaviest out of all the boys. So they like called me Arnie, and then we just came up with the nickname Shani.
They're going to be in a custom helmet at some point this year.
Oh, I actually got a custom helmet coming, and it's just stay tuned. We'll keep it there. Stay tuned.
What was I going to ask? Sorry. Got to keep up with these questions, eh?
We've got a lot of questions.
So we talked about your privateer stuff, and we've talked about you getting on this factory team. What's it going to be like going to World Cups and racing with like everyone behind you?
I think knowing that I'm there for a reason and that I wouldn't be on this team if they didn't want me on the team. So I think just having that kind of stability behind me where it's like I'm wanted on a team and I'm valuable to a team. So just believing in that and just going to enjoy it and just, and just like having less pressure behind me of having to do stuff. Like I've got my own mechanic over there, Pat's a rad dude, so it's cool. We already get along and it was great to meet everyone. I just have so much trust in the whole team. And I think it's just going to be good vibes generally all around and it'll suit me. And I'm just here to enjoy it. Like at the end of the day, I just want to have fun this whole year and I don't want to go in with any expectations because it's been 3 years since I've raced. I can't expect I want to get this result. Once I have a few races and warm up into it, my goals will shift and change. But ultimately, I just want to have fun with it and enjoy the whole process and soak up the whole year. Have fun. Yeah.
I think that's important. No expectations and just see what happens.
Exactly. And just like, just enjoy the process of it and have fun with the team and enjoy riding my bike.
Are you still doing the crankwork stuff?
I don't think I will this year. I got given the chance to do crankworks and the World Cups and stuff, but it becomes a pretty long year of racing. So I'm actually going to head over early April and stay over until mid-October, I guess, when the season ends. And just race some IXS Cups and just do some test camps and stuff over there. And just base myself over there with the team for the year and just and ride some different tracks and get training over there.
You nervous about leaving home for 7 months or whatever it is?
I was initially when I was thinking, but I guess like after the first team camp, it gave me like a lot of stability that I feel like it's a family. It's not, I can feel very comfortable myself around these people, which is really important. And I'm excited. Like I'm at a really good point in my life now to kind of go over there for the year and just enjoy the whole thing and soak it up.
I guess having people from Europe lessen all that language barrier and culture barrier and everything as well, I guess.
Exactly. And I like the whole team. A lot of people speak English these days, so I'm pretty lucky. And, and having the team.
Speak English, but they just don't want to, in my experience.
Exactly. But the whole team, they're there for me and, they're not going to leave me alone if they're not going to put me in the deep end here. So, I know I have the support behind me to make it all happen.
Did you have any goals this year or you just?
Oh, like ultimately, yes. We want some podiums for sure. I want to. Yes, but I don't want to put that on myself where I'm expecting it. And but I just see what happens. And I'm just going to plan to keep working hard and getting my bike set up how I really want it. And, I found a really good base now, which I'm really happy with. And I'm really gelling with the bike at the moment. So I'm really happy. But, just see how we go. And I just, more time on different tracks and just putting myself out of my comfort zone a little and just building as a person and a rider will be good.
Was it hard to gel with that new suspension because you swapped from RockShox to
I've been with RockShox for years, but no, I'm really loving it. Like I love like low speed rebound is a game changer. Like it's so nice having that to play with and having the support overseas just to set up my suspension, like giving feedback to my mechanic and just being like, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what's happening, and he just kind of goes, all right, let's change this, and I just tried a whole bunch of stuff, and then I slowly just started to find something that I just was like, wow, this is good. Like I was really happy with my setup and I come now here to nationals just feeling really confident.
Yeah. I mean, you sent me those videos from Italy. I was like, oh, channels on.
I'm just, when your head's in the right place and you're gelling with everything, it's just, it's just a good combination. And it feels like it's been a pretty long 7-8 years working for this, but everything's starting to come together this year. So I'm really thankful.
Another one of those overnight successes that happens over 10 years.
Yep, 100%.
What are your goals for this weekend?
Look, okay. I want to be national champion again. I really want to win this year. And yeah, generally it'd be really sick to be able to kind of win on home soil outright. Like Cammy and Nina are here, and Anna Newkirk. Like, we have so much competition. Like, it's going to be pretty heated. You know, it's really cool. Like, I'm just going to see how I go. Again, no real expectation, but I want to win pretty bad. So we'll just see how we go. But I'm just going to have fun, enjoy the whole weekend, and not get caught up in my own head. Like, I just love it here at Threadbow, and just see how we go. I'm riding good. I feel good on the track, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Let's go ride some bikes.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, legend.
No, thank you. It's been good, as always is.
Here's to a successful 2023.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Can't go anywhere. Thanks.
Oh, good hustle. That was long, boy. Was it? No. Oh, that's...
Thanks for listening to that one, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. I learnt a lot more about Sian, even though this is our kind of third episode on the podcast with her. Can't wait to see what she does in 2023 with this new YT mob team and new sponsors, factory support, new parts. She's absolutely ripping. And yeah, if you want to support the podcast, tell your mum, tell your nana, tell your brother, tell your dad, tell your neighbor, tell whoever, and let them know about the podcast. You can jump over to the merch store, get some of those capped out caps, some dirt surfer mud guards, or a tee possibly. And make sure you use the discount code Beyond the Tape 10 at any checkouts, and that lets our sponsors know that you're going there from the potty, and you get a sweet discount for that. Anyway, until next time, as you can hear, my dog wants to head out. So until next time, have a bunch of fun.